Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt. Hello, Houston, South Texas, and San Antonio. Welcome back we're here to shine a light on those legal issue blind spots that could trip up your business or your personal life before you see them coming. We're going to be talking with Leigh Wright, who is the founder of Base Buddies, a growing platform and podcast dedicated to helping military spouses build meaningful connections and navigate the realities of life. Through honest conversation and relatable content, Leigh creates a space where military spouses feel seen, supported, and less alone. But first, let's check in with the financial focus with Jacob Warren, financial CEO for Successful People, who owns and operates Financial Planning HQ with his father, Steve, and brother, Joseph. And he's been an advisor for 10 years. He's passionate about working with young business owners, planning their financial success. Jacob, you love the outdoors.
I do.
And most importantly, being a husband to your wife, Catherine, and father of your two kids, Arthur and Camille.
That's correct. Yep.
Welcome back.
Thank you, Todd. It is great to be here. Excited for the show.
Awesome. We have less than a month left until the 2025 tax year deadline. Mm-hmm. What are some mistakes people make when it comes to tax planning?
Yeah, I think something that people tend to do is treat taxes as something that just comes up around tax time in April. For a lot of families and specifically business owners, tax planning should be a year-round thing where you're thinking about it year-round and thinking about how you can strategize and improve your situation, whether that's by saving additional money, by putting money into like retirement accounts, or making small changes, making sure that everything is very well documented. So I think the biggest switch for when I onboard like a business owner client is like, hey, we're talking about taxes in January, we're talking about taxes in June, mm-hmm. and we want to make sure that you're set up in a way to where once April gets there, you understand, number one, what you're going to be paying, and you'll know that you've also kind of maximized everything else to make sure that you're paying the lowest amount possible. So that takes a lot of collaboration with, if it's a business owner, like a bookkeeper, CPA type, where we sit down in meetings just revolving around taxes and say, okay, this is, so-and-so situation. How can we make it better? Come up with some recommendations, and let's look at a tax projection so we can get them ahead of the game in April.
Yeah, there was that shoe store. You could pay more, but why? Mm-hmm. Pay less shoes.
Right.
And so that's why I think about income taxes.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because I always ask people, like, who wants to overpay in taxes this year? And like, obviously nobody does. And everyone's always talking about, okay, I want to pay the least amount of taxes. But the way to do that is to actually sit down and do the planning.
Right.
Because there's almost always a way to improve your situation.
Awesome.
Yep.
Can you explain a little bit more about tax projections and how they can help a client?
Tax projections are an exercise that we take our business owner clients through, where we'll collaborate with their CPA, and we will talk about, okay, this is our baseline, right? We look like as an example, we're going to owe $25,000 in April. How do we get that number down? Whether that's re-looking at all of their expenses to make sure they're not missing anything, that they're depreciating these they need to be depreciating, or more exciting is, okay, so you're a business owner, right? You have access to solo 401ks, SEP IRAs, your Roth IRA if you're under that income designation, and making sure that all of that is maximized, and you can slowly. I get excited when I see that number start creeping down. It's like, mm-hmm. Okay, nice. We're basically putting money from one pocket to the other. We're sending less money to the IRS, and we're also saving money for our retirement, mm-hmm. which obviously is super important. So the tax projections are a baseline, and it's really a non-negotiable when we bring on a business owner client to take them through that and make sure that they're very well aware. And one of the worst things that we could do for our client is have like a big surprise in April. It's like, oh, normally I pay nothing or 10 grand a year. This year I owe 25 grand.
Yeah, that happened to me one year. I had to pay $14,000.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously being the financial planner, the financial CEO for my client, that reflects back on me. So we want to make sure that we have looked at absolutely everything to make sure that that number is accurate and that we're not going to go above that number. We're going to try to reduce it by making sure that we're saving and things like that.
You know what I'm excited about this year is the Trump account for babies.
Yes. Just started. I have a 4-month-old, so we just looked into that for my daughter, and really cool. I mean, it's free. Who doesn't like free money, right?
Yeah, a business can contribute up to $2,500 to their employees' babies. It's a tax deduction for the business, and I don't think it's countable income to the baby.
Very cool, yeah. So the baby will start building their net worth when they don't even know what that means.
Yeah, they just have to file Form 4547 with their 1040.
There you go.
Sounds like you have a lot of communication with the client and their subject matter expert. Is it typical for a client and their financial advisor to do that?
Typically not. When I onboard a new client that's working with a financial advisor already, typically it's mostly revolving around investments, money management, which is a super important aspect of financial planning. But it's a little bit of a mindset shift when we come on, because we are very proactive with this type of stuff. So if you can kind of envision like working with a whole, let's say you're a successful person, you're working with a whole team of experts, right? You have your CPA, your bookkeeper, insurance expert for all the different types of insurance, your attorneys. All of these people, a lot of the time, are just working in their own like silo, right? They have their own expertise. They're not communicating with each other. Something that we found to be super important is to have all of these people on the same page and get them all on a meeting together and say, this is my new client, Todd. This is what's important to him. These are his goals. All of us need to be working to get Todd to where he wants to be.
I want to buy one of those robots that does the housework.
Yes. So we could plug that into your financial plan, and we can show you, hey, this is the best way to do it. But it's a little bit different than what's typically out there, and it's very, very powerful from a client's perspective. And we kind of went through this recently with a mutual client where we had, something happen in their life, and I think we had 5 maybe subject matter experts on a Zoom call together, and we were all just, okay, who's going to do what? Who's going to take care of this? Who's going to take care of this? Right. And we all got it done pretty quickly because we're all on the same page and we're all working towards a common goal.
So we talked about retirement, and Lay's here to talk about military spouses. So how could Financial Planning HQ help a military couple plan after they retire? Because if you go in when you're 17 and you retire when you're 37, yeah, then that's a very young age to retire. Can you help them figure out what's next?
Absolutely, yeah. So being in San Antonio, there's so many military people here. So I've ran into that pretty regularly where people retire, typically not that young. That's 37 is impressive, but early enough to where they're, typically still working. And once they kind of figure out what they want to do, if they want to start a business, it's a great opportunity for them, because having military retirement is a nice baseline. If they have any sort of disability, it's even more of a baseline to say, okay, I don't have to worry about essentially paying my bills with a new job. I have all of that covered. Do I want to start some sort of business? And it's a big shift, right, from being in the military where, a lot of times people are telling you what to do, right, to starting your own business and being your own boss. So it's a bit of a mindset shift, but that's a great opportunity for me to kind of like sit down and say, hey, this is what you want to do. This is exciting. Let's look at how to make this a reality, kind of go through what type of business is set up and things like that. So, yeah.
And so if there's someone out there right now that thinks they want to meet with you to discuss that, how can they contact you?
Yeah, so you can reach out to me directly. My cell phone number is 210-748-1937. And if you're listening to this and it kind of resonated with you that you may be leaving money on the table when it comes to your taxes, I offer an initial consultation. Completely complimentary. We'll just have a basic conversation on the phone about your situation. And from there, we can talk about scheduling what's called a financial roadmap meeting, which we talk about a lot, which is the first meeting where we talk about all sorts of stuff outside of money. I want to know your values and goals. And so if you fit that bill and you think it'd be valuable to talk about that, again, I'm Jacob Warren. My cell phone number is 210-748-1937.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
course. Happy to be here. Thank you, Todd.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We'll be talking with Lay Wright with Base Buddies.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.